Hi, in this session today, we'll look into student recruitment, placement, and mentorship, which is component of curriculum and instruction in nursing course. Please share with us what made you join nursing and how your journey has been.
What made me join nursing? So for me, I was inspired by my mom. I think we are a family of nurses, starting with my mom. My inspiration came from her. And
What was inspiring about her?
How she everything, more of it, the way how do I say it? Was of course, well, by then I was by then they were wearing the white uniforms, the all white from up to bottom, and a cape, because she was of course the pioneers of the nursing. Mm-hmm. So that motivated me. Mm-hmm. And by the time I was completing my high school, I was like, I wanted to do nursing as well. So I joined a private institution called the L.K.B College of Nursing at Chogoria. It's a mission-based, or rather faith-based institution. Mm-hmm. So I underwent the application, did the interview, was shortlisted, and I joined.
Beautiful. And how did you join University of Nairobi?
So after a while, I think after around 3 years of practicing, I was like, I want now to upgrade to do my BSN. Mm-hmm. And I wanted, my first option was the AMREF, because I work around there. So I felt that it would be a convenience for me. But then by then I was being told, it was in conjunction with the with University of Nairobi. Mm-hmm. So the most convenient was the University of Nairobi, because of the flexible, or rather the online classes, and the flexible classes, so that you can be able to do the 2 weeks and then a 2 weeks break, like that. So I applied, though I also applied late, but then I was able to catch up and I joined the class.
Thank you. So mommy was a mentor, directly or indirectly?
Say again?
Your mom was your mentor, directly?
My mom is. She is my mentor.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing your experience. Hey, let me ask you, how has been the journey? And if you have a mentee, you have somebody you're mentoring in the profession, and how has it been? Mutiso. So it's your turn, you said in class. Sorry, it's not Mutiso. Do you have a yes, let's wait for Mutiso to get back. Let's hear from Stephen. So, Stephen, you're telling us whether you have a mentor in your profession, how the journey has been, and if you're mentoring someone.
Yes, I have a mentor in the profession who's one of my lecturers from the department. So I specialized a higher national diploma in anesthesia. So currently my mentor is one of the nurse anesthetists from within the country who works with the Kijabe Hospital. And she's a very passionate and very caring mentor that I met over the training at that place. So from time to time, if I had like issues within the profession, I would just call her and probably guidance. So on the part of being a mentor also, I have actually a couple whom I'm mentoring still. Some of them whom I met when I was a part-time lecturer at the KMTC.
Thank you. So how has the mentorship been? Or especially you as a mentor?
Yeah, it's been nice. It's something that makes you feel like it's a good thing because there's somebody who is looking up, and also it challenges, so that makes me keep moving. And one of the other things that made me join BSN is just to open up and get more informed on more knowledge, so that I can be able to have enough to share with people, and being more knowledgeable.
Thank you, Stephen, for your sharing. And we pray that you continue being the great mentor you are. Okay, Mutiso is back. So Mutiso, now that Stephen has told us his experience, you will tell us what was the best placement you've had so far and what was the most memorable thing about that placement.
Oh yes, my best experience, I got it in Makueni County Referral Hospital. Yeah, in maternity ward, labor ward especially. Yeah, when I was attending my placements when last year, but one.
What was most memorable about that placement?
Yeah, I had very nice colleagues working, and then working with them, they were very much. They were directing me. They were telling me a lot of things. I work in a dispensary, and when I was getting experience in a higher level facility, I found it good. So it was all around good, and the in-charge was so nice. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So I can imagine the in-charge was good. Do you feel it's something which could influence where you will specialize in after?
Yes, it did. In fact, if I want to be a lecturer in future, then I must specialize with the gynecological issues, maternity.
Oh, it is good. Let me ask Margaret Kimata. Margaret, what do you feel is the future of nursing in Kenya and globally?
Good morning.
Good morning, Margaret.
What I'll say about nursing, I've been an observant of nursing before I went to school to do nursing, and I've seen a lot of growth, because when we were growing up, we used to ask, nurses wanalipwa kweli? The way they were looking, ukienda hospitali, the facilities weren't that good and the working condition wasn't good. Then when I joined nursing, by the time we were joining, the first nurse, those who were before us, they did enrolled nursing. Then Kenya Registered Nursing came up. Then eventually now bachelors of nursing came up and masters in nursing. So personally, I've seen a lot of growth in nursing, and I'm hoping it will continuously grow in Kenya. Worldwide, when we interact with people that are outside the country, like I have an auntie who is in UK, herself, she's a consultant, like they grow, they study, you grow, you end up being a consultant. And I was told some of the nurses that come to hospitals like Tenwek, some of the people that come to Tenwek, they're actually nurses that have specialized in particular areas. So worldwide nursing is growing, and I'm hoping in Kenya we shall reach there. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing. That is very encouraging. Let me ask you, join nursing, and what do you feel is the future of nursing in Kenya and globally? Lucy?
Good morning.
Good morning, Lucy.
The reason why I joined nursing, I was inspired by my dad.
Mm-hmm.
He was a nurse in Kenyatta, but he quitted later on and joined accounting. So that's one person who inspired me. And then again, I wanted to go to work in US. And my mom only told me that the only opportunity to go outside the country is doing nursing. So that is the only thing that I did nursing.
Oh, beautiful. What do you think is the future of nursing in Kenya and in abroad?
In Kenya, because now there is devolution now. With the devolution, I can say nursing is growing, is expanding, not like before. Nurses they didn't have voice, they were not vocal, they were like doctors are using nurses like maid, but nowadays they are vocal, they have a voice. Yeah, worldwide, nursing career is very important because we can see during the COVID time, we are the backbone of the hospital, and actually we are the one who played a big role in the COVID-19. So nursing is an important professional worldwide.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your experience. As we close this section of class discussion, let me ask, is there anyone who joined the profession by accident, in quotes, or because they were forced, and would want to hear their experience and hear what is their take in the journey so far? Any volunteer who joined this profession either because somebody forced you, or because you didn't have an option, or by accident? Who is that?
My name is Wanda.
Me too. Yes, Wanda. Tell us about your experience.
Okay, so when I did my Form 4, I never wanted to be a nurse. It was not even in one of the courses that I chose. But I wanted to do some course to do with geography. I love geography so much. But my dad insisted that I have to be a nurse because nursing is marketable, or I be a teacher. So I said that I'm not going to be any of those, and he applied for me KMTC, and he's the one who applied everything, and I got a letter to Mombasa KMTC. When you went there, you were told that you are so many, and there was another MTC that was open called Msambweni MTC in South Coast. So you were taken to Msambweni MTC, where I did my diploma in nursing. I never loved nursing. I was a joyrider for a very long time. And when I used to work hard in class, actually, so that I can pass my exams. But when I went to the clinicals, I was never interested. I would just pocket and have fun. Yeah. So when when we started doing assessments, that's when I realized that, oh, you have to pass this course. You are here to work hard, because I hate failure. So I had to force myself to love nursing. And when I was in MTC, I didn't like nursing until I got a job after MTC in Coptic Hospital in 2015. And there was a lot of work. You could have one nurse to ratio 15 patients, and you have to be paid. So you have to work hard so that in the morning you have to hand over. So with that, I started having interest, because I will take care of patients alone, and the outcome was good. The passion started growing. Then I also saw my friends progressing in nursing. Some of them started doing critical care. So in 2017, I decided, okay, I can do this thing. Then I just applied it for fun. It was not something that I was serious about. I went and did critical care. I realized it was a very fun course, very interesting. I got deep into nursing, and now I'm doing degree, and I love nursing.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Wanda. Makes me think of how would I take Wanda back to geography, where she ever wanted to be. Maybe after this, you could think of remote health, and you do spatiotemporal mapping, and you're able to apply your geographical interest to know where your patients are located, and you're able to do remote health with your experience from Samboeni, and just thinking, how do I still write what I loved in geography and nursing? I think the best thing about this profession is you can use it as a base to do anything you ever wanted to do in life. That's for me. And I'm sure we'll hear from others. One more, before we start the main content of the class, one more person who wants to share.
Me?
And they joined when they really never wanted nursing, and they'll tell us where they are today.
Me?
Tell us your name first.
Kageha.
Yes, Kahea. Please go on.
My name is Kageha. So when I finished school in 2010, I went home. I was living with this family that they had took me through school. So it was in a very remote place that these big, good courses, professions were not even had. But in high school, you just go to school for the sake of going and coming back home. So by that time, we didn't have really a mentor to take us through these courses and stuff. So after finishing, I just went home. But I really loved business studies. So maybe I thought I could do something with the economics, commerce, those ones, and just be in the bank. I used to love the fact that they go 8 to 5, those sit on those desks and chairs and just serve customers and go back home. So when I finished, the results came after Form 4, and I was not around that family. So when I came back, they took me first. My father wanted me to do lab. I don't know how it's called, lab. Something to do with lab technology stuff. So I did not like the course in the first place. So I declined it and went back home. So he gave me ultimatum and told me, if you're not going to do lab, then we have to part ways. So I went home. I went for a week. Then when I came back, he just told me, your mother and I have decided you to go to nursing school. And I wasn't so much into nursing. I did not know anything about hospital, how they operate, because I was never been sick for a very long time. And my mother was a nurse, but the old nurses, those wakitambo kabisa. So hapo tukapishana kidogo tu, then I just sasa amenipatia ultimatums, either I go to lab, hiyo ikakata, then nursing, nikadecide to kwenda nursing. Then I had friends who had just finished Kakamega MTC. They really encouraged me to do nursing. I went to Mukumu to do Mukumu. It's called Mukumu School of Nursing. My father wanted private, because when I applied for MTC, those letters are declined because he knows where to post them. So he told me he wants me to go to private school because we were brought up in a Christian home, the Anglican church. So when I went to Mukumu to do the interviews, I passed, but they were looking for Catholics first. They were given first priority. So I was happy that I was not admitted in that school because I was an Anglican. When it failed, I was so happy to go back home to change a course. When I reached there, my father told me I just have to look for another school. I went to Maseno, School of Nursing. I did an interview the same day, but they had already sent me a letter to invite me for an interview that I did not I didn't get the letter. Maybe it was not, I couldn't fikia. So I was still happy that at our pia sijapata nafasi so that I can do the course I want. Kidogo, they gave me an interview, they gave me a letter the same day. After 2 days after depositing money there, I got a letter from Kumu again. And then I was like, this thing, I think it was just to happen, meant to happen. So I was admitted Maseno. I did not like the PTS. The PTS took like 4 months. I did not just like going to class every morning, and then the school has a hostel inside. I could just pass by the hospital. Hivyo tu kupita tu kama kawaida tu, kusoma tu for the sake of my parents. And then they used to ask, what is your passion? Like, who inspired you? And I'm like, my father took me to school to do nursing. So with time, I came to find friends. Now, after PTS block that takes 4 months, we went to rotation. I started liking it anyway from there because I got a mentor who was doing obsgyne by then. I can take through. So shule nikamaliza and came outside here. Then started hustling for a job. That's when started nikachukia zaidi nikasema sasa mbona nilifanya hii course. By then you go to a hospital, they pay you peanuts. Really peanuts. And I was like, you do a lot of work. But by then, kitu ilikuwa nafanya nispende sana. I used to take more time crying in the hospitals more than I should just be happy and comfortable because there were people dying, especially the small babies. I don't like small babies when they die. I think they are very innocent. You resuscitate someone dies, you cry more than even the relatives, but you don't cry in front of them, you go to a room. So I was like, this is not my thing. So I worked for like 6 years. Then I went to school. Where I used to be in course, people don't go to school sana. So I tried joining for the university, nikaacha. Then when I moved to Nairobi, I used to come to Nairobi often. Then I heard about Nairobi University. Then I joined Nairobi University. So I'm still really not into nursing as per the hospital, but I really want to be a lecturer. Maybe I thought I can spend more time to go to school and maybe become a lecturer and stop being a bedside nurse because I'm very empathic that I can't see people cry in the hospital most of the time and really work with them, especially those patients. So I really want to move from really bedside. But I just came to love the profession by then. But it wasn't really my thing. I really wanted to do my economics, those ones. But being a lecturer, that's when nimeamua maybe it can help. Yeah, teaching is good.
Wow. Thank you, Angela, for sharing your journey. That is quite a journey. Maybe you're just meant to be here. You know what is amazing is when I ask people who joined nursing by accident, we are also passionate to share. When I ask those who joined by willingness, the numbers are fewer. But the most encouraging thing is that even if we joined when we were not willing, somehow the journey turns to be more interesting and worthwhile. Just for Angela, to encourage you, don't lose your dream for economics. There are specialists in this nursing. After your BSN, you can go and do an MBA in healthcare, for example. You can do an MBA in health economics and you still land in a place you will still enjoy yourself. There's one who is very tempting, and I feel like giving her just 3 minutes. And Margaret Wajiro, please tell us how you started as a journalist.
After secondary school, so we had our years. You had to stay like a year, then you would join a college. Unfortunately, I just missed going to university by a mark, because the pass mark was 68. I got a 67, so I had to get a college. So those days I went to Nairobi Hospital. My first passion was to do nursing. But I wanted to do journalism because when I was growing up, I used to admire those people. We did KBC, then KTN came up. So I admired being a journalist at the same time. I admired being a nurse. So I started by going to Nairobi Hospital to get if I'll get a chance to be enrolled there. Because I did my marks for mathematics wasn't that beautiful, I was told to go bridging. Then in the process, my dad knew the principal for math, it's called Kenya Institute of Mass Communication. So he called him, and I was enrolled to go to mass communication. So I did the other thing. So I did mass communication, I did journalism, I finished, I joined Citizen at that time. So the thing is, when you're a journalist, you get information, or you get what people are saying, then you lay it out to the world. But my heart was not that satisfied. Like, yes, I want to get that information and relay it to the world, but what do you do after that? So I think that's the thing that made me go back to doing nursing. But it's after several years, almost 10, let's say 10 or something years. But my dad, the first time I told you, when you go to hospital, you really appreciate the nurses because they look like, those days they used to be underpaid. Nurses were underpaid, they were enrolled nurses. Used to wonder, nurses are the people that, they come to your place, they tell you, you're supposed to be clean, you're supposed to be this. But when you looked at them, I never admired nurses at all. Then in the process, I'm a traveler. I love traveling. I love traveling. That's my thing. So I've traveled around the country. I've gone to Kilifi. When you go to Kilifi, you go to those remote places, you understand why community nurses are wanted. Because those people don't appreciate healthcare that much because they are poor and lack of water and everything. When you go to Lodwar, you also appreciate being a nurse. So I've traveled all most parts of the country. Not because of journalism, it's my passion to travel. So in the process, I asked myself, yes, journalism is about going to get information and relaying it to the world. But nursing, it's about taking care of that person, that information that you've gotten, you're going to doing the same thing, so you're most fulfilled. So when I told my dad that I want to go back to school, that is after several years, like 10 years, that time your parents don't want anything to do with you. You're grown up, you're outside there. So I told my dad, no, I want to go back to school. My dad was like, what do you want to do? I want to do nursing. He was like, no. If you ain't doing a degree because you've already done your diploma, I'm not paying for you your fees. I told him, it's okay. And he told me, what do you want to do? I told him nothing. He told me, no, I want you to do something to do with Kenya Science. So fortunately, I'm my dad's forever late. So I told him it's okay. I applied for the nursing schools. I applied, one is in Pokot, the other one is in Kendu Bay, the other one is in Kericho, then another one in Meru. All of them, I got an invitation letter for the interview. But what I admired, I was like, I've gone to Kisumu, I've gone to Pokot, but I've not gone to Meru. So I went for that one for Meru. Then fortunately, the principal that was there, she was so good. And she was also my namesake. So, and there were not so many people from other places, different parts of the country, because I'm brought up in Western region. So she was like, she plus my age. By the time I was applying to go for nursing, my age was, in fact, she asked me, have you come to get a place for your child or yours? I told her it's me. So I joined school. I joined with 18 years old, 20 years old. It was tricky, but in my journey, we went to remote places of Meru. I really admired to be a community health a community health nurse. So we completed. Then I came back to Nairobi. My first place where I worked, within 6 months, as I had already been taken to work. I did general nursing, that is within medical ward and outpatient, but my matrons saw the confidence in me. So within 6 months, I had already been taken to a HDU ICU unit. I worked there for around 5 years, and now I'm in a referral institution. I really desire to work in a community, and I'm so impressed with the option you're giving to us. I always, what am I trying to say? I always admire you, Dr. Bichok, and other lecturers. How did I join Nairobi University? My brother, he did his bachelor's, undergraduate, and his postgraduate at Nairobi University.
What is his name?
Pardon?
What is his name?
It's called Junior Kimata. He did in geology.
Okay.
So when we were going for graduation, I admired the faces. The University of Nairobi. So when we go for those graduations, so my brother did that. So I admired. I was like, if I'm done with nursing, they need the diploma part, I just have to go to Nairobi University. Anyway, when I applied for Nairobi University, there's that car hinge that you get when you're applying. So in the process, I went to KU. KU was not favorable. Initially, they had the holiday learning, that is April, August, December. But when I went there, they told me they had abolished. So they had the 8 to 5. You're working, you can't be given all the time to go back to school. I went to JQR, they didn't have anything. I applied my most, it's called, this one for Kakamega, it's called Muriro. Yeah, Muriro, I was like, I know. I applied in Eldoret because that one is near my home. It's called my university. They were so much into grading, so I had, because of mathematics was my only failure. So when I came back to Nairobi University, the process went on, then we joined. So I really admired when they are going for the graduation, then there's the after party. Then when you get the MC, the University of Nairobi students love themselves, the whole alumni and everything. So when you get the MC, they always get their own MC. So when my brother was doing undergraduate, then he did his post. He gets his fellow. Then that guy was a Luo. So he would be like, when you go to my place, a degree is nothing. You have to do your master's. Our place, you can't get toleration because of a degree. So you have to do master's because everybody there is a professor. So you have to do your master's, you do your doctorate, you do your PhD. Because like in rural land, everybody is a professor. So I admired that. So that's how I joined Nairobi University. Wow. And now I admire you. Sana kabisa.
Humbling.
I have respect for you. There's a way when you talk, you encourage us. You make it look like it's not something big, but when you go to books, therefore this is something else. I still admire to be. Right now, I'm in the medical ward, and I really admire to study in maybe diabetes or, initially I wanted to do tropical diseases. I've tried to Google down to see if it's offered in Kenya. I can't seem to see that. Then my specialty, I really want to do diabetes or cardio, still not in Kenya. So I don't know what will happen when that time comes. I've also told you my journey of the way I used to see nurses. I've grown, at least my age, I've grown. I've seen enrolled nurses. Also, I have a friend who's your namesake in Kenya. She's called Lucy. We met by chance. When we were doing journalism, she was a friend to a friend. So she used to come to Nairobi. She takes us out. We were wild and everything. But initially, I didn't admire being a nurse at that time. No, we were journalists. Those are different worlds. But eventually, the friendship grew. So when I was going back to school, I talked to her. I told her, Lucy, I'm going back to school, and I've admired your journey, the way you started from enrolled to KRCHN, then you did your hair diploma, then she did her degree, and currently she's doing her master's. So I've admired her journey, and I always tell her, I really love the way you've done your thing, and I wouldn't mind being in your steps. And she understands me because we're almost the same age, and the same journey. At least we've done the same journey. Not the same journey exactly because she started in enroll, but at least I'm trying to go in her footsteps. Menti, there are several students that have come to our place, and I tell them, I've gone back to school. I started wild because journalism, you become a bit wild. But now nursing has made me, and I've come to realize and understand nurses because I never understood nurses, why they were so they were so, which term will I use? They were like timid and everything. But when I went to nursing school, I came to understand their journey and the way they behave like that. Now, when I'm talking to the students that come to our place, I tell them, every day try to learn something. It's not easy because I also give them my journey. I tell them, it's not easy when you're wild, but when you love something, it makes you want to fit in that container, in that cube. So that's basically my journey. So thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you. Hey, thank you, Kimata. I feel like maybe I should pause this class and just say we need to share our experiences. I'm learning a lot from you guys. And Kimata, you made me think. Every day we are looking around and wondering, who are these nurses who can be able to document nursing experiences and share it to the world and market the intrigues, the challenges, the joys, the enablers, and the impact of nursing profession, package it in a professional way and sell it out there. We are also looking at people who can document evidence-based practice. We are looking at people with the writing skills who act as editors and publishers of different nursing journals. I still want to believe, even as you go to explore your interest in areas you're interested in specializing, maybe we need to boost your journalism skills and say we need to. That is quite intellectual capital which you can bring into the nursing profession. What do you think?
Yeah, when I joined nursing, so when my dad gave up, like, he's like, oh, you've decided to do nothing, it's okay. Then he was like, but you can join nursing and journalism together. But it's true, because in nursing, okay, in journalism, we used to say your mouth is the tool of your trade. Mm-hmm. And I came to realize in nursing, we talk a lot. Like, you have to talk to the patient to understand what he wants to say. You have to encourage like in nursing, you're talking too much, but you never realize you're talking. Because when you're talking to the patient, when they talk to the doctor, they're always like, yes, yes, yes. But when the doctor leaves, you ask them, have you really understood what the doctor has said, or you just listened? They tell you, yes, I heard, but I didn't understand what he was saying. So you get, as a nurse, you have to explain. Then the relatives come, you have to talk. So I came to realize whatever I learned, because like at my workplace, when the relatives come, they tell me I know how to use my words. So they let me talk to them, because sometimes, they become a bit why, which we understand, because when you get a patient, you're also a patient too, as a relative. So I came to realize whatever skills I learned in journalism, especially of talking and convincing and everything, is what I'm using in nursing. And also in journalism, you get, you travel, you learn a lot. Plus, it's also my passion to travel and learning a lot. And now, because I'm doing nursing and it's something that is impacting into the society, I'm like, in future, I wouldn't mind using both the skills from journalism and the actual thing that is happening on the ground to combine them. Then I don't know. I'll ask for guidance when that time comes. Thank you.
Beautiful. Maybe I hope I don't plan your life, but I'm just thinking, when you come for your master's, one of the topics we talk about is communication. And we go to details and we look at the role of a position in it's usually a top management position in most health institutions, and it's corporate communication managers. And we noted most of the corporate communication managers in Kenya do not have a medical background. And I'm just thinking, here is the perfect candidate for the next corporate communication manager's job. Maybe
wow, thank you. Thank you. I'll let you. I had thought of. I was thinking. I've been praying about it. That when I'm through with degree, I was like, I want to look for Dr. Bitok. Although I have that fear. I don't know. I can't favor in her, because there's a way you talk. Then you always. I don't know if you realize, but you always get somebody you're like, even when you're teaching as research, you always you pinpoint something. Like, you can do this, then you let it hang. Then you can do this. So I was I think I need to see this lecturer, because I think my life is not into, I love being in the wards. I love. In fact, I always tell them I love being a bedside nurse, because in bedside you learn a lot. But eventually, my life, I think I'm this person who's open-minded. I love being in the community. I love the outside world more than what should I say? Something like that. I think you understand. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimat. You made me, you made me feel touched. That's, you know what I mean. My office is always open for anyone. You want to come chat? Come and tell me. We will talk. We will see how to package you. Let me tell you, honestly, I am one of those people who joined nursing by accident, for lack of a better word. We did not know there was anything called BSc nursing. You have passed your KCSE, you're looking to joining a university, and then somebody tells you've been admitted to BSc in nursing. For the first 1 year, I wondered, why am I here? I wanted to find a way of making money. So I thought maybe I would do pharmacy. And then I learned technology. There was this new talk of internet and computer science. And I journeyed on and I found my niche along the way. And with my experience, I learned, wow, I can actually be a manager. And I thought, let me look at health systems management. And then I was able to incorporate my science. That's how I ended up in system dynamics modeling, decision support systems, mathematical modeling, and inspiring people. That's why I enjoy talking to you every day. I can talk all day, even when I don't have meetings, or when I have meetings, but never mind. I enjoy what I do. So for all of us who join this profession with their willingness or they were forced, there's something to make out of it. And I keep saying that's the beauty of nursing. You can do whatever you want and use your skills, your passion, your hobbies, and somehow you make a package which transforms the world. I think we should set another session where we can share experiences. I'm sure there are many others who would want to share their experiences. But for now, we'll stop it there. We'll take 5 minutes break and then we'll come and continue with the rest of the lecture. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. 5 minutes, and then we'll go to the structured section of the lecture. 5 minutes break, we'll see you.